Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to your full coverage of all things sports. Live from the OC, and of course, Santa Clarita, it is Stat Boy Sports Bar. Here's your host, Stat Boy Mike.
Hello and good evening, my internet fans. Welcome to this Week 15 NFL Holiday Edition of Stat Boy Rants, as always on the Jeff Meacham Network. And as you saw with the opening graphic, sadly, the NFL has lost another legend. Mr. Kevin Green passed away, I believe, a couple days ago. He was 58 years old, out of Auburn University. Then went on to play for the LA Rams for 7 years, from 85 to 92. Then went on to the Steelers from 93 to 95. Played it for the Panthers in 96. Played for the 49ers in 97. And finished his career with the Carolina Panthers 98 and 99. He then came back to coach the Packers from 09 to 2013 and finished up his coaching career with the Jets in 2017 to 2018. As far as the stats go, he is a 5-time Pro Bowler. Hello, Bailey. How you doing? Thanks for the love and the kiss. 3-time first-team All-Pro in 89, 94, and 96. Defensive Player of the Year honors in 1996. The NFC Defensive Player of the Year. 2-time sack leader in 1994 and 1996. And, of course, as a coach, winning the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 40. 773 tackles, 160 sacks, 5 interceptions, 23 forced fumbles. Again, another legend up on that great big offensive line in the sky. Jeff, how you doing, buddy? What's going on in Santa Clarita?
It's been a very easy day. I kind of just laid back and I had a terrible headache, but that wasn't. It is what it. Headaches come with the holidays, right? It kind of, especially when you're a parent. It is what it is. I wasn't even tripping on it. I just kind of just laid back and relaxed today.
Headache.
Huh?
Holiday headache. You need some eggnog and brandy is what you need.
No, eggnog bad, brandy worse. So first of all, welcome to Stat Boys Sports Bar, not Stat Boys Rants. For those of you tuning in here at 4 minutes in, because Mikey said Stat Boys Rants.
Did I say rant? Oh, my bad.
Yes, you did. So
I'm living in the past. What can I say?
You are. That's okay. You have to sometimes.
I
So yeah, Kevin Green unfortunately passed away. We got the news yesterday as I was getting ready to go on the air for, as Santa getting ready to go on the air for Talk Wrestling. So he made the initial announcement here on the Jeff Meacham Network. So we are all very saddened by the loss of course, in addition to his astounding football career, he did dip his toes in the waters of WCW. He was in a couple of main events for pay-per-views. He was, of course, the fall guy in the process of Steve Mongo McMichael joining the Four Horsemen back in 1996 at the Great American Bash, thanks to the money of Ric Flair filtered through Randy Savage's alimony toward Miss Elizabeth. And ironically, the following year at Slamboree, he teamed with Flair and Roddy Piper to defeat the original Wolfpack of Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and our buddy Sean Waltman. He also, I believe, faced Mongo one-on-one at some point. I could have that wrong. And I know he was also involved in 1998 when Goldberg was the world champion. He was in a program with the Giant, and I believe Kurt Hennig. He really got heavy with the Giant in the summer '98 when the Giant was still part of NWO Hollywood, and Goldberg had already beaten Hogan for the championship. So very, very sad. Very, very young. We don't know what happened yet. I'm not sure I want to, not going to lie, because that young leads me to believe there was more involved than we probably want to know. But hopefully I'm wrong on that, because it is the holidays and we don't want to have that. Either way, it's casting a pall on the proceedings. That's. We'll play this. Actually, we're not having a Great Carry Show tomorrow, so we won't have that same video tomorrow. But yeah, it's like I said, it's very sad, and hopefully the Green family can find some sort of peace and solace that if he was hurting, that he's hurting no more.
We just talked about that. We just did that. We just said that. Thanks.
Just
All
did
right.
that. Yeah.
We just did that. Good. All right. So let's get into the news. We've got tons of it today. We're probably going to be here till the 11 o'clock hour. That'll be good. That'll be a good closing time. The first big news: hockey is back. Thank goodness. Yes, Jeff is happy. He's doing his little happy dance there. The National Hockey League has agreed to a 56-game season starting on January 13th. No preseason games. We're just going to go training camp and straight into the big season. However, the 31 teams have been realigned due to Canada's COVID policies. So all teams in Canada, all 7 teams, and I have the list here. I am working on that. The Flames, the Oilers, the Canadiens, the Senators, the Maple Leafs, the Canucks, and the Jets, they are in the newly created North Division. What does this mean for the other divisions? In the West, of course, we have the Ducks, the Coyotes, the Avalanche, the Kings, the Sharks, the Blues, the Golden Knights, and the Wild. The Blues and the Wild, of course, St. Louis and Minnesota, if you know your American geography, they are in the middle of the country. But the league has said no, they are more to the left of the center of the nation. Therefore, they are in the West. In the Central Division, the Hurricanes, the Blackhawks, the Blue Jackets, the Stars, the Red Wings, the Panthers, the Predators, and another odd team, the Lightning. The Lightning are in Florida. Florida's in the East. And, of course, the East is the Bruins, the Sabres, the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the Senators. So, and, of course, we don't have an even amount of teams because the newly created Seattle franchise isn't official yet. That would be the 32nd team, and we could have 4 divisions of 8. But because of COVID, and it's all interdivisional play. So apparently, only the Canada teams are going to play Canada. Only the West is going to play the West. Only the Central is going to play the Central. So unfortunately, the good old-fashioned Ducks Kings against any other team is only going to happen within the West. No traveling, which kind of sucks. And of course, we have a 56-game sprint, as they called it in baseball.
Yes.
So, yeah. As far, did you want to say something after I mentioned Tampa Bay?
Well, just the fact that it makes sense the way they aligned the divisions, only because Tampa and Florida are so far freaking down there, like way down in there in the boonies, compared to the rest of the league. I mean, I get the need to protect, and I actually applaud. God help me, I applaud Gary Bettman and the team in the NHL because we're getting hockey. And Luke made a point, talking about he's disappointed that we can't have fans in the Staples Center, and that's fine. What?
You said his name wrong. It's not Luke. It's Luke.
Okay.
You have to say his name that way.
He who jumped on the bandwagon 8 years ago versus he who was there when Luke was drafted. I can say what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Oh, come on. That's I still remember.
He who was there in the early days of Staples Center when the place wasn't open yet, and he was sitting a row or two in front of Stacia Robitaille shooting the shit while she was holding little Jesse can just thank you. So
I remember.
Mr. If you want, Mr. Robitaille, the president of business operations,
Robitaille, I'll give you that one.
Said he of course wanted we of course want to see the fans back, but we recognize that we can, or something like that. And I am glad we're getting hockey, and even if it's all 56 games on television, so be it. Like I don't have a twitch when I don't get to see baseball, especially on TV. Good Lord. Football is 16, 17 weeks plus playoffs, and that's all we get, at least till Dwayne gets the XFL resurrected for the 434th time. Hockey I miss so bad, and I'm so glad we're getting it back, and I'm so glad we're getting it back soon into the year. And like I said in the press release, it's going to be a sprint to the cup, and then they're looking to start over in October for the regular season. So
There you go.
Hopefully, the transition between Cup in July and camp and preseason and regular season will just be seamless enough where it'll work out. Because this bullshit not having hockey the last 3 months has sucked. So to the people in the chat room, Michael, that is up to Mikey as far as the Stat Boy rant, and as far as Anthony, dude, we're not even in NFL talk. Breathe. It's okay. We'll get there.
What is Michael asking?
Michael's asking if we're gonna get another Stat Boy rant tonight.
Oh yes, absolutely. There will be a couple rants without a doubt. Absolutely, I do have a couple rants on tap for tonight.
Yes,
and
Anthony, yes.
And he's a little bit antsy.
Yeah, Anthony, we know they lost. We know who they lost to. It's okay. We're going to get there. I promise.
Anthony, this is going straight to you. We have a format on the show, okay? You got to start at one side and then work. You can't go straight to the main course unless you're really hungry. Okay, so, you got to have your appetizer, you got to have your salad, then you got to have your breadsticks, then you got to have your dessert, okay? You can't go straight to the steak and be suffice.
Just imagine you're at a 5-star restaurant when you watch this show and go from there.
Exactly. So what will the sports bar, how are we going to handle hockey? We're going to handle hockey the same way as we are with basketball and as we are with football. It'll be on a weekly thing, so I'll keep track of all the games and everything. The teams will be ranked by their points first. It always goes by points. The wins and losses come second in hockey. Remember that. It's 2 points for a win, 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss. And usually what we did with football, I called out the quarterbacks. In hockey, it's going to be the goaltenders. So after every game, exactly, Brother JJ said that there's more sports than football. So, of course, the goalies will be highlighted by their save percentage, how many shutouts they have, and I'm still considering if I want to go player by player, like who's scoring the most goals or who's getting hat tricks or whatnot. That's still in the works. We still have at least 3 weeks before hockey season starts. Also, let me say that training camp for the Ducks, the Sabres, the Red Wings, the Kings, the Devils, the Senators, and the Sharks, they start on New Year's Eve. Everybody else starts on the 3rd. So those teams get to practice first because they didn't make the playoffs, so they get a little bit of extra playoff time. All right, so hockey fans in the world rejoice, and you get your Christmas early. Moving on to basketball. The preseason is done. There is a game being played right now, and I did put my early predictions on the Facebook page. In fact, I want everybody to keep going to that Facebook page. That's where daily updates are going to go, score reports, and player rankings. I did a little bit of a test during the preseason, so that's probably where everything's going to go. And it's just going to be used for a archive purposes. Of course, you guys can comment. Okay, go ahead.
I assume you're referring to the Facebook group, the Jeff Beach Network Facebook group, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's why. So pretty much after every day's games, the simple results will be up. The simple results, nothing like I'm going to rant on this person, I'm going to rant on this game. That's what this broadcast is for. This is for me calling people out, presenting some results, and going week by week. But the group page, that's where all the results, and of course comment. And I actually got a couple Facebook friends out of the deal. Thank you. Brendan Crabtree was one of them. And I don't remember who the other one was, but right off. But thank you for the comments and the friend requests.
And thank you, Brendan, also for following Bailey on Instagram. Appreciate that.
So let's get right to the top 10 players. Who did the best, and who was in the top 10? And no, LeBron is not there. Let's get that out of the play right now, because LeBron did not play until Game 3 of the postseason. and he only played the first half, and he didn't even score that many points. Remember, the rule for the rankings is you have to be the top scoring player in one game. Then all the games after that, your point total gets bigger. Now, of course, players are going to score points. We get that. I get that. But if a player does have more points than others, of course, it's easily going to be said. But for my personal, hey, this person's doing the best, they have to qualify. You can't just expect LeBron to score 50 points in one game and be at the top of the list. So looking over the 80 player roster, Derrick Rose got into the last spot on the very last day. He scored only 14 points. Moving up the list, Jason Tatum, he's pretty big in Boston. He finished with 19 total points there. Thomas Bryant, probably no relation to Kobe, but he's up on the list. In fact, I have some news about him. I have a little bit of news about him. He's on the list. Jeff Teague of Boston, he's on the list at 23 points. Who else is on the list? Kevin Durant, who is currently playing right now for Brooklyn, he's on the list with 25 points. Kyle Kuzma, I got a little bit of news about him. He just signed a pretty good contract extension. Let me get the numbers on that. A 3-year, $40 million contract. So Kyle is definitely going to be on the team for 3 more years. That's a definite good thing there. Who else is on the list? Let's see. Who else? Josh Jackson of the Pistons, 30 points. Let's see. Who else we got? Anthony Davis. He came in the same day that LeBron did. He scored 35 points in one game. That was enough to put him on the list. So there you go with that. Paul George, the big contract extension for him with the Clippers. He only got 35 points in 2 games because that's all he did, unless I'm missing something on him. Oh, let's see. Now, I want to keep the top 10 a secret because I don't want to go too far. Carmelo Anthony, there's a name I remember. 45 points, 19th place overall.
Dude, how old are Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Durant? Holy crap.
I got to look up those ones.
Seriously.
Now, my boy with the big name, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
God bless you.
Exactly. Now, he's my fellow countryman. He's the Greek Nigerian I told you about. He signed a contract. He has a contract, 5 years, $228.2 million. He is staying in Milwaukee. Now, here's the thing with I'm going to try and say his name as many times as I can to get it right. Antetokounmpo. He is part of a 3-brother triple threat. His brothers, Kostas and Thanasis, yes, those are Greek names. Kostas plays for the Lakers, and Thanasi plays for the Bucks as well. These 3 boys are going to take over the league, I think, with all 3 of them. And just imagine when the Lakers play the Bucks and brother goes against brother. That's a matchup I'm looking forward to. But unfortunately, Giannis, and of course the commentators do not say his last name. They call him by his first name because it's easier to say Giannis than it is to say Antetokounmpo, which I think I'm slowly getting better at. Antetokounmpo, Antetokounmpo, Antetokounmpo. Hey, I'm getting better at that. And we're at the top 10. So who's in the top 10? Well, here we go. Of the Sacramento Kings, Buddy Hield. He scored 58 points and he tied with another well-known name, Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors, who is currently playing in Brooklyn right now and probably not doing so good. DeAndre Hunter of Atlanta, 59 points in 8th place. Kobe White of the Bulls, 66 points in 7th place. Zach LaVine, 67 points in 6th place. I don't know if it's Ya or Ja. I have to look that up. Of Memphis, he has 70 points. And 5th place, Devin Booker is tied from Phoenix. The top 3 are R.J. Barrett of the Knicks, Nikola Vucevic of the Magic, and the number 1 player who did the best in the preseason. He's from your Los Angeles Lakers, THT, Talen Horton-Tucker, number 5 on the Lakers. He was the number 1 player, 82 big points. He may have scored more. If he did, he did. If he did, he didn't. But that's the way that the game is played. He will probably play tonight. as the Lakers take on the Clippers in about 40 minutes. So that's how the player is going to work. Again, you have to be the top scorer to qualify, and then you just go on from there and you score points left and right. Now, another player, and I mentioned it earlier, Thomas Bryant of the Washington Wizards. He earned the first fine in a game on December 17th against Detroit. Third quarter play, standard routine. He's going in for the play. He gets knocked down, and he decides he wants to go and confront Blake Griffin, another well-known player. Well, in trying to get to Blake, he bumped into the referee. The referee was waving it off, saying flagrant foul, no good. You do not touch the officials in a basketball game for any reason. So the league decided to fine him $45,000 just for touching a referee. You'll never see that in WWE, I'll tell you that.
No, but they're trying to crack down on the bullshit right away because I know these NBA players have been way too flagrant against the referees, fouling the referees themselves. It's been ridiculous, and they need to nip it in the bud right away before it gets out of hand. So I applaud the NBA for doing that. I really do.
Always blame the referees. Always blame the coaches. Never the players. Never take blame for themselves. Also,
of course not. That'd be too easy.
Yeah. Also on the naughty list were the Bucks themselves, who apparently had discussions with I'm going to say his name right, Bogdanovic, right, or his agent. Apparently, before the free agency talks were allowed to take place, the Bucks decided to talk to them. No, you're not allowed to do that. Because of this, the Bucks have lost their second-round draft pick in next year's draft. So. But they've got Giannis on the team, so it's not big of a loss, I don't think. So nothing to worry about that.
Oh, speaking of naughty list,
who's on the naughty list?
No, your intended predictions challenger is in bed. He has an early day tomorrow, so we will not have the challenger, and unfortunately, I won't be able to. I tried my best to get a call into the North Pole, but he's a busy man. So I won't be able to get Santa down here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Anybody in the chat room want to challenge me? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Right.
Get the link. Come into the show. I need a challenger. Someone needs to win a shirt.
That's right.
If someone can step up to the plate within the next possible hour, please do. Otherwise, we only have one more week left of football. And I still need to work out the bugs for the preseason or for the season predictions for NBA. Now let's talk about the great King James. This came up during the preseason. LeBron James is currently third in the all-time scoring list. He passed Kobe Bryant a while back while Kobe was still alive, and so he currently has 34,241 career points. The two legends ahead of him are Karl Malone at 36,928, and of course, Laker legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 38,387. Now, when Kobe got onto the list and he started scoring, and I was actually following him, and the big thing was passing Jordan on the list, and then getting as high as he possibly could, and then he retired. And so he stopped there while LeBron passed him. Now there's possible talk that LeBron is going to beat both Malone and Kareem. Now he just signed that extra 2-year contract extension, so he's going to be in the league for 3 more years. So if we do the math, to catch Jabbar, he needs 4,146 points. If he wants to beat Kareem in 1 year, in this year with 72 games, one, you'd have to be known as a ball hog. You'd have to pretty much take every shot and score every point. 57.5 points per game this year alone to catch Kareem. If he wants to catch Malone, he only needs 37.3. That's doable. good players average about 30 points a game. So if really needed, 40 might be pushing it. 50 and above is insane. When Kobe scored 60 in his last game, that was more, I think, a gesture to give the fans in the Staples Center that night something to remember Kobe by. But let's face it, now that Kobe's gone, he'll never be forgotten. We know this. LeBron did the nice Mamba out at the end of last season. What do you all think? Do you think LeBron should pass Kareem on the all-time list? Take out the fact that he's a Laker. Take out the fact that he's been in the league for 17 years, 17 seasons. Or should that title never be broken? Should it not be touched? Should LeBron just worry about going back-to-back and not worry about the points? Let me get your comments on this. Let's find out what you all think. You can tell me your honest feelings about LeBron if you want. Go ahead, Jeff.
Wow, okay. That scoring title has been so out of reach for so long. You mentioned discount the fact he's a Laker. Why? Kareem was a Laker the entire time. Kareem got those points as a Laker. So yep. I don't see a problem with another Laker eclipsing that. On the other side of that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is arguably the greatest player to ever play the game. I know Michael Jordan had the most points. I know that, but that's the same argument as Gretzky being the greatest versus Bobby Orr being the greatest. Bobby Orr was the greatest player. Gretzky was the greatest scorer, right? So I don't mind records in real sports being broken because it's a cool feeling to be a part of something like that. In wrestling, with Flair's, 16, 17, 25, 42, 6,500 world titles, whatever. For me, it's that shouldn't be touched, I feel, because Flair, in my eyes, is over 20 and shouldn't be anywhere near. Nobody should be near that. Ric Flair is the greatest world champion, in my opinion, of all time. But again, it's professional wrestling. It's a gimmick, whatever. At the end of the day, we're a sports bar. Real sports wise, records were made to be broken. You don't get 27 World Series and then the Yankees go, okay, nobody can play ever again.
Nope.
You don't get 27 cups. Montreal goes, okay, stop playing hockey because we want to have the most cups forever. It's not how it works, kids. So if LeBron does pass him, great. If he does it as a Laker, even better. If he does it in front of the fans at Staples Center, that's awesome.
Good that you bring that up also, because the Lakers have announced that they will not reveal the championship banner until fans are in the Staples Center. Well said on that one. They're just going to leave it up there, hidden behind a black sheet.
Right. I tend to agree with that because the banner reveal is as much about the fans as it is about the players and the team. So that I commend that. And I do hope that who won the Stanley Cup this year?
The Lightning.
I hope Tampa does the same thing when they go back to work. So point of reference. I don't know if I said this on your show or not, but I found this out in the course of my research. Tropicana Field, where the WWE moved to the Thunderdome, moved to Thunderdome 2. When the Tampa Bay Lightning first debuted in 1993, they didn't have a permanent home yet at where they are now, so they had to play at Tropicana Field with the dome up and the whole thing. When the Tampa Bay Lightning played at Tropicana Field, it was called the Thunderdome.
Really?
Yes.
How about that? So
I just kind of went, Vince with his historical relevance. I dig that. It's kind of cool. So anyway, Michael, Michael, I don't think he will pass Kareem with the shortened season, and LeBron likes to rest. I don't see it in his final seasons. Well, he signed how many years extra, you said, Mike?
2.
Okay, he's got at least 2 years left. Based on the breakdown of the points as Mikey laid it out. And LeBron does like to rest quite a bit. So it may not happen. But again, if it does, And if it happens in the year that we get the fans back inside the building, that's great. If it happens this year, you know what? It happens. It's at the end of the day, as much as the fans are a huge part of sports and the interaction with it and everything, the points happen from baseline to baseline, from end zone to end zone, from whatever to whatever. If those points happen in this next few months, that's awesome. He still did it. Doesn't matter if there's one fan in the stands or 18,000. So,
all right. So before we go into football, let's do the basketball rankings. And I just noticed, yes, for the first time. And I just noticed, Jeff, that when I sent them to you, I did not update them, so I do apologize for that. So once we get to, oh boy. Once we get somewhere, I think they'll be in some kind of order. I just saw it, and I do apologize. So we'll just have to.
I've got all 30 graphics in there, so it's not the end of the world. It's okay.
Okay.
I know I have labels on them for the numbers, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, well that's fine. All right. So the team that didn't do again, let me state, I went by postseason record, and I took their two games, their highest scoring game, and lowest scoring game, because everybody played at least two games in the preseason. I keep wanting to say postseason because I'm thinking what's going to happen in 2 weeks in the NFL. So,
right.
So the record is the first stat, and their 2-game average, high and low, breaks the tie and ranks them up. So the team that did the worst, the team that went 0-4, team number 30, Phoenix.
Oh, wow. Okay, hang on.
Phoenix. Yeah, I know I had something else on the list, but it's a good thing that Phoenix is not playing tonight, because they really need to get their
yeah, I was wondering why an 0-4 team was above an 0-2. I went, wait a minute, what the hell is he? Okay. All right.
I forgot to update the last 6 teams before I mailed that to you. So next teams, these next teams did not win any ones, but they won less games. The 0-3 and averaging 93.5.
Lost less games.
Yeah, they lost all 3 games. It's the LA Clippers.
Okay, there they are.
And an 81 low, that's 93.5. The next team is also 0-3. They averaged 103 points. HBK's own San Antonio Spurs.
Now, he has season tickets, not ownership in the stock, right?
Right. He's a San Antonio boy, so he loves.
Well, I know. For some reason, I thought he had bought in, but I guess I read that wrong or heard that wrong.
All right, the next team 0-3 as well, with an average of 105 points. Indiana, the Pacers. And the last team to not win any of their 3 games, but they averaged the most points, 107.5. Giannis's the Bucks. All right, this next team, they've won the most NBA titles. They only played twice. They lost both games with an average of 94 points. Boston. All right, the next 2 teams are 1-3. The first team.
Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Before you go to the 1-3, are you sure number 30 on the original list isn't here somewhere?
30 on my list.
Being 0-2 when you sent me the list.
Did I not put? No, because they actually did win their game. They actually won the last game that they played, so it's
just making sure we're good. Okay, very good.
Okay. The next team, they went 1-3. They scored an average of 111 points. We're talking about Portland.
Okay, I gotta get this in front of me here. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right.
The next team just edged past Portland. They scored a half a point more on their average. They also finished 1-3, and I called them the Bobcats before. They are officially the Charlotte Hornets. They're not the Bobcats. They are the Hornets.
Where did I put? Hang on. There we go. Sorry. Okay.
There you go. Charlotte zone. All right. The next team is the original team in that list. They scored 100 points. They went 1-2 with the cool logo. We're talking about Washington.
Cool by your definition.
Well, it's still very clever how the beard of the wizard forms the W of the team. That's amazing there. That's great licensing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The next team also finished 1-2. They scored 112 points. Boomer Sooner, if you want to call it that, Oklahoma City.
I doubt they'll call it that, but okay. There you go. Okay, here we go.
It's a JR thing. It's a JR thing.
I know.
The next team finished 1-2 as well. It's Yanni's team at 116.5, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I think we're back on track now from here on out.
I think so. I think we'll be okay. The next team, they went 1-1, and that's going 500 as opposed to going at 333. Miami Heat. All right, next teams. These are the teams that finished 2-2 at a nice even 500. First team only scored 91.5. Nope, it's not Cleveland. It's Detroit.
It wasn't on my list, but okay.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So yeah, we're still. All right, hang on. I don't see. I'm trying to find Detroit. Hang on. Damn it, where did I put them?
They might be.
Okay, Detroit should be above Memphis. Where's Memphis? There they are. I found them. There they are.
The original list, they were above Charlotte.
I know. But below Memphis. Sorry, whatever. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Again, that's my mistake. All right. So 91.5 points, the Pistons. The next team now will be, because they finished it with 99.5 points, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
The next team after that. Now, these next two teams, well, Atlanta goes before Sacramento, but here's the reason why. Atlanta and Sacramento both finished at 111.5 points. Sacramento's high game went first. So it's Atlanta and Sacramento.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. Well, no, I don't see. Oh, they're way the hell down there. Okay.
Yeah, they would be down at the bottom of the list again.
Yeah.
So I've already explained it, so there's Atlanta.
And then who'd you say it was? Sacramento. Okay.
Sacramento, because of the higher scoring game. All right, the next team is 2-1.
There we go.
It's like all these next teams are 2-1. From the Great White North at 108.5 points. Toronto.
Hang on, if for some reason I can't get it off the Kings thing. Hang on, there we go. Jiminy Christmas.
There it is, Toronto.
Oh boy.
Next team, they're currently playing the Nets right now. Have no idea what's going on in that game. They were 2-1 at 110 points. Golden State Warriors.
That's delicious, right?
Next team, 2-1 at 117 points. Denver. And the last team to go 2-1 with 120 points, Dallas.
Okay.
There we go. I think we might be okay at this point now.
Well, except for number 25 on the original list is still coming up later because they have a better record.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Next teams, they finished undefeated, but they only played 2 games, so they're 2-0. With an average of 110.5, Philadelphia. At 116, the team that's probably currently beating the Golden State Warriors right now, Brooklyn. I did find a news story about that as well. I can do it after the basketball.
Very good.
And the final team to score the most points, going undefeated at 2-0. I'm not calling them by their logo. I'm calling them by their team city, New Orleans.
Right.
It doesn't sound like a basketball team to be called a Pelican. You know when the last time I saw a Pelican? Never. I don't think I've ever seen a Pelican. They have that big bill, and
they're down at the beach in San Diego all the time, man.
Okay. The next teams, they won at least 3 games, 3-1 at 104.5 points. New York.
Okay.
Next team at 109.5, Houston.
Okay.
At 114, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that did the best at 3-1, We just talked about them at 117.5. That will be Memphis.
Okay. There we go.
That only leaves 2 teams left. Team number 2, they went 3-0. Utah, and of course, as it should be, the number 1 team, they went 4-0 in the. There it is. Your world champion, Los Angeles Lakers. And tip-off is in 20 minutes. Lakers versus Clippers.
So with the Lakers, the Jazz, the Bulls, and the New York being in the top 5 or top 6, are we in 1993? What happened here?
I guess so. We need to throw Boston into that mix, though.
Right.
I remember the Jordan versus Bird series quite
well. But they weren't near as prolific then as they were in the 80s when it was Showtime against Boston. So
yes, it was. So that's your initial starting ranks for basketball. And again, next week, at the end of Monday's games, because we come back live on Tuesday,
right.
They'll be all mixed up again, and but this time it will be by record and by average.
Right.
And this will be all their games, not just high and low. This will be everything.
Right. And if you couldn't follow along, don't worry. The producer couldn't either, so it's okay.
And it's okay. And what they usually say, the preseason doesn't really count anyway. In this case, it should, because the Lakers went undefeated. They were 4-0.
Okay. Well, like we always talk about with preseason amongst us in private, the preseason is kind of like a practice type thing.
Yeah,
but it does also give you an idea of what we're dealing with, because these preseasons are so short that you're pretty much seeing what you're going to see on the court for however many games it's going to be. Much like the hockey, we're not going to see any preseason. So what you hear at training camp, what you see game 1 is the start of what you're going to see. So we have to go by what we have. So there you go.
Now, as predictions go, oh boy, this is going to take a bit. There are 40 games in the first week. I have them listed by home team first, so that might cause a little bit of help here. So I'm just going to quickly go through it, and I'm going to say that Atlanta has a 2-game homestand against Chicago and Memphis. So I'm going to say that I'm going to have to write these down as I go along. So I'm going to say that Atlanta will split their home. That's just their home games. I know Atlanta will have an away game at some point, but I'm going to only do the home stuff because I don't want to state the same game twice.
Right.
So when Atlanta comes up, I might say that they win, but it's going to be more that the home team loses than the away team wins. So Atlanta is going to lose to Chicago, but they're going to defeat Memphis. So I did try to look up point spreads and all that, but that didn't really happen either. So then we have Boston and Indiana. So we'll say Boston wins that one and starts the season off with a win. Brooklyn is playing Boston. Brooklyn is playing Golden State, and that's that's fine. So Brooklyn's home games against Boston and Charlotte. That's going to be a split. With I'm thinking Boston is going to beat Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn is going to beat Charlotte. So we'll make that a split. Charlotte plays Cleveland, so I'm going to go with Charlotte losing on that one. That's going to be a loss. Cleveland and Detroit, I'm going to say Cleveland loses that one, giving a good start to the Pistons. Okay, Dallas has a 3-game set against Phoenix, the Lakers, and the Clippers. Dallas will go 2-1, with the loss going to the Lakers. 2-1 loss in LA. Okay, Golden State and Brooklyn, they're currently playing, and I already made my prediction on that one. Golden State will not beat Milwaukee, so that's a split. Did I say no? I said no. So that means that they would be swept because I said Brooklyn was going to win that one tonight. So that's a sweep. That's a being swept. 2-game loss. Okay. Houston and Portland. I'm going to say Houston loses. Indiana, Chicago. Indiana loses. Give a good start to the Bulls. Clippers, Lakers, or Clippers with a 2-game homestand. That's going to be a split. With the Clippers losing to the Lakers tonight, which I've already stated, and they will beat the Nuggets at home. So that's a split. Oh, okay. Yeah. The Lakers are on the road all this week, so that's why they're not listed. Okay, that's even better. Miami, Orlando, the Battle of Florida. I'll give it to the Heat. I'll say the Heat wins that one. Milwaukee. That's my team with the Bucks, so I have to say that's going to be a sweep because of Giannis. So that's a sweep. Minnesota. That'll be a split with the loss going against Lakers. I think the Lakers can win on the road. If they went 4-0 in the preseason, I think they can do pretty good on the road. New Orleans, yeah, right. They're going to get swept both ways. I'm not going to do anything with New Orleans this season. I really, just because of the team name, they're going to get swept against unless New Orleans changes their. If they really start playing and they really start winning and they catch my attention, then I'll pick them. I know I'm going only on a team logo basis, which I shouldn't be doing, but yeah. Okay, New York against Indiana. That's going to be a win for New York, and they're going to start the season off right. Oklahoma City, the Thunder. That's going to be a 2-game sweep against Houston and Charlotte. That's a sweep, so they'll do okay, and they'll start off good. Orlando, back-to-back against Washington. They can. I think they'll sweep both of those two. So that's a sweep. Philadelphia. I used to like the 76ers a long time ago. I'll call that a split with the loss going to New York. Lost New York and defeating Cleveland. Sacramento and Denver. I'll go with Sacramento. I'll give them a good start only because it's a California team. San Antonio, 2-game set. They will sweep. Toronto. I'll give Toronto a win. I think they can start the season off well. Utah and Portland. Utah, they went second place, so yes, they'll get a win in that. And Washington against Philadelphia at home. I will give them the loss. All right, so that's all 40 for basketball. And we are done with basketball, finally. 50 minutes in, Jeff. Wow. If it's going to be like this every week, we're going to be busy with basketball and hockey. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to need to hire Walt's team to audio animatronic for me to sit in during the basketball part of the show.
Yes, all right, folks. You've waited long.
Not a fan. I'm sorry. I'm not.
If we got to do sports, we got to do sports. And basketball.
I know. Okay, so a couple updates. The Nets beat the Warriors by that score. Fucking goal. Golden State.
How about
Good
that?
Lord.
Thank you, Michael, for the update. That means I'm 1-0. That's right.
Good. And then he has a question, but we'll answer your question at the end when we do our wrap up. But he wants to know what you think is the worst sports team name. So be thinking about that as we get through.
Are we talking now
the rest of the show?
Are we talking the worst sports teams ever or currently?
Worst sports team name. I'm going with ever. But like I said, think about it. We'll get to it at the end of the show.
Okay, I've got a couple on mind. I
All right,
really
cool.
do. All right, now on tap. Get your drinks ready. We're talking Week 15 NFL football. We're going to start. I will get to the scores and the stats and all that, and the scenarios. We have tons of scenarios to talk about, but the team owners have gotten together and they are considering Game 17 of the NFL season next year. And here's my thoughts on this. This is the rant we're talking about here. 17 games. I mean, okay, football, is a weekly thing. We don't get it every day. You look forward to it at the end of the week. You want to sit down with your beautiful meal, a beer, your jersey. You want to do that every week. I get that. Now it's up in the air if there's still going to be a bye week or if they're just going to play through. We don't know yet. But I need to know the reasoning behind this potential 17th week. When I first heard of this story, the first thing that popped into my head is use this possible 17th game as the proper way to break a tiebreaker. Because tiebreakers in the NFL are a disaster to try and figure out. And if a game ends in a tie, a game ends in a tie. That could potentially happen. We get that. It happened this season with Philadelphia and Cincinnati. And if you remember, a lot of the media people were even saying in the NFC East that tie game constantly gave the Eagles the advantage in the division. So if a game ends in a tie, it ends. Now, let me talk about this really quickly. Baseball has only ended in a tie once that I know of, and that was at the All-Star game. And let's face it, the All-Star game is an exhibition game. The All-Star game is for fun. The All-Star game is to go out there, take a break, and enjoy baseball as just good old-fashioned simple baseball. Sure, the prize at the end of the game is home field advantage for the World Series, but baseball cannot end in a tie. There has to be a winner. Basketball cannot end in a tie. There has to be a winner. Hockey. It used to end in a tie. Then they would go into overtime. Then they would go into the shootout until there was a winner, unless you're in the playoffs. When you're in the playoffs, you play till you drop. Soccer. You play until you go into penalty kicks. Pretty much every other possible sport can end in a tie, and you don't want that. Boxing and fighting are the two sports, I think, in the most, where if a fight ends into a draw, you're going to go either way. Either both fighters did so good that neither one could win, or there's absolutely no possible way to figure out who won, and you just throw your hands up and say it's a draw. Now, in football, if teams are tied in their division, which is the possibility and will be touched on during the standings portion of this episode, they have to go through this entire list of tie-breaking procedures. And trust me, unless you have the memory of an elephant or you have your device at the ready where you can just type it up really quick and find out what happened, the first tiebreaker are the head-to-head matchups. So winning a football game against a team early in the season and you don't end up playing that team ever again during the season anyway, and you end up tying that team, well, because you beat them once, that's enough to get you into the playoffs. I think differently, because I see a tie as both teams doing equally well against other teams. So if you're going to have that 17th game, make that 17th game the deciding game between the teams that are tied to figure out who's going into the playoffs. And this should only be for the playoffs. If two teams are tied and they're at the bottom of the list, big deal. Then you can go into all those procedures, and then you can figure out who gets the draft pick, which will be talked about also. If two teams are locked at the top of a division and you need to have a division winner, or you need to figure out who's got that playoff spot, this has happened in baseball. There's a one-game playoff. Do that for your 17th game, and only utilize the 17th game if it's necessary. If a team is not tied, don't make them go out there. If they're done for the season, then there is no point in that 17th game being played. When I talked about this earlier, there is the possibility in the NFC East for three teams to finish 8-8. The Cowboys, the Giants, and I believe also the Cardinals in their division. They can all finish 8-8. And again, I will bring this up later. There is a way to break that tie. What's for dinner, Jeff? What do you got there? Oh, that looks good, dude. That's tasty. Please, by all means, eat up. So, and I'll reveal who's going to get the playoff spot if the scenario takes place, which the way it should in the NFC East and the NFC division with the Cardinals, which I can't remember right now. Now that's a 3-team tie. So then you might have to go beyond week 17. You might have to go on to week 18 because it wouldn't be fair for that third team to be laid out. Then you should go in, and then people get more football, even if it's a one-game playoff. So the idea of a 17th game can be good. Thank you, Michael, for that. Go Stat Boy Go. Thank you. I love that. I'm probably gonna make a shirt that says #Go Stat Boy Go. So if the 17th game is there for whatever other reason than a tie-breaking scenario, I think it's not worth it. But if it is like I say, it should be there to definitively figure out which team gets either the playoff spot or the division title, and that 17th game should not end up in a tie. That 17th game should be you play until can you top this? That's how NFL works. You score the touchdown, you win. You score the field goal, the other team gets possession. They score the field goal, you keep going. You keep going until you score that touchdown, or you play like we do in college. Wow. I get blasted by the kids. Wonderful. So you play until I think it should be can you top this, or whoever wins wins. Saying all that, let's get into the weekly results now. I'm almost tempted to go and close the door and yell at the kids, but I don't want to be that guy. So I do apologize.
Do it.
No, I can't. I'm not getting up from this chair. I've gone an hour so far, so I'm good to keep going.
Give in to your hatred.
Do you want
the
to take a break? Do you have something to fill time?
No, I'm eating my dinner.
Okay, so see, I can't just have dead air. I can't do it.
No.
So, and I'm not going to yell out at the kids either. That'd be rude of me too. I don't want to be that guy. So I do apologize for the neighbor's noise. That's out of my control. I should have told them, but kids will be kids, and they're playing, even though there's a stay-at-home order, which I talked to them about that too. But I don't want to be that guy and put my neighbors on blast. That's not me. So we're just going to move on. Yeah,
okay.
We're just going to move on. I'm going to get through the results and what happened in Week 15, and then hopefully have enough time to go and watch Laker season opening basketball. The Chargers took on the Raiders and had to go to overtime to beat them 30-27. Derek Carr got injured in the first quarter. He only threw 3 for 5, 53 yards. Marcus Mariota had to come in relief. 17 of 28 for 228 yards. Sadly, Derek Carr injured his groin. He literally hobbled off the field, holding on to himself. So let's hope that that's not too bad of an injury. Let's hope he can come back and help the Raiders possibly get into the postseason. It is still a possibility for them. Michael Badgley missed 2 game-winning field goals. He's missed 9 field goals altogether total in the NFL, which is a stat you don't want to have. Justin Herbert had a 53-yard pass, which led to the game-winning field goal. That's his 8th completion of more than 50 yards. 50-yard passes are a rarity in the NFL. And this also was the first divisional win for the Chargers, going all the way back to 2018. And that game was last week also. In a rare Saturday game, the Bills took on the Broncos and pretty much crushed them, 48-19. Josh Allen went 28 of 40 for 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Drew Lock, 20 of 32 for 132 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. The Bills have clinched the AFC division. The last time that happened was in 1995. That was the 3rd longest drought in NFL history. The only 2 teams with longer postseason droughts are the 1990 Bengals and the 1991 Lions. So let's see what the Bills can do with the AFC East title. The Packers took on the Panthers and beat them 24-16. Aaron Rodgers went 20 of 29 for 143 yards, 1 touchdown. He is now at 40. He has 40 touchdowns in a season. Congratulations to him. Teddy Bridgewater went 21 of 35 for 258 yards. And that now makes him at an 8-game losing streak, even though, again, we talked about this last week. Carolina did win a game, but Teddy Bridgewater was not the quarterback. So his losing streak is continuing. The Packers are 14-2 since 2019 at home, and they are one of 3 teams to allow less than 30 points at home. The other teams being the Rams and the Steelers. And trust me, we will talk about the Steelers at the end of this part of the show. The Texans took on the Colts, beat and lost 27-20. Deshaun Watson went 33 of 41 for 373 yards, 2 touchdowns. Best performance of the season for Watson so far. Phillip Rivers only went 22 of 28 for 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The big upset of the week, mark your calendars, folks. What happened, on Sunday? It finally happened. The Jets won a game. Unbelievable. They took out the Rams 23-20. Sam Darnold went 22 of 31, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. Best performance of him completion-wise. He was 8 yards short of getting better passing yards than anything else. Jared Goff went 22 of 34 for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jets break their 13-game losing streak of the season, but winning comes at a cost for the Jets because they are now not guaranteed to have the number 1 pick. I thought there would be a draft lottery. Shows how much I know about the NFL. The order of the team's records determines who gets the number 1 pick. Well, it ain't going to be the Jets right now. It went to the Jaguars instead because they have the 2nd losing record. I know both teams are 1-13, but apparently, because there's some crazy tiebreaker rule, the Jets are now a better team than the Jaguars, even though they both have the same record. So now the Jets will not get the number 1. Rams are a first-round exit in the playoffs. They haven't even made it to the playoffs yet, Michael. Yes, hell has frozen over. The Jets won, and even the media. I believe the game was on Fox. Of course, they were showing graphics of all the New York newspapers or the New Jersey papers, and they were like, "Oh my God, the Jets are horrible. They still want Coach Gase's head on the platter, even after winning a game, which is a shock." But it's whatever with that. Could you? I know you don't want to get involved, but could you please tell them to stop yelling outside, please? Please.
I'll just go out there and say, "Shut the fuck up!" I'm off to work.
I know you are. Have a good night. But please, just thank you. I would appreciate that.
Mikey, 1 win is 1 win. A polished turd is still a turd, okay?
Wow. And he left just as I was getting ready to talk about the Lions, too. The Lions did end up losing to the Titans 46-25. Matthew Stafford went 22 of 32 for 252 yards, 1 touchdown. Chase Daniel came in as a backup, 5 of 6, 55 yards. Ryan Tannehill went 21 of 27, 273 yards. And it was the nail in the coffin for the Lions. They are done. Moving on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Atlanta Falcons and 31-27. Tom Brady went 31 of 45 for 390 yards, his best performance in passing this season. Matt Ryan went 34 of 49 for 356 yards, 3 touchdowns. Matt Ryan has now passed 4,000 passing yards for the past 10 straight seasons. He's right behind Drew Brees when it comes to that. The Buccaneers were shut out in the first half, and of course, Tom Brady refuses to stay down, and they come back and win the game. The Jaguars, who we talked about earlier, they lost 40-14 against the Baltimore Ravens. Gardner Minshew, who made his first start since Week 7, went 22 of 29, 226 yards. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 22 for 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. And again, because the Jets won, the Jaguars now get the number 1 draft picks. Again, that's what happened because of that. Again, both teams are 1-13, but again, probably because of the tiebreaker scenarios, the Jaguars now get the number 1 pick. Yes, Jeff.
Nothing. I was coming back on camera.
Man.
But I have something stuck in my teeth, so I don't want to show that on camera.
You don't want to show digging for cavities or whatever.
Not a cavity, just a piece of the garnish on the pasta.
There you go. The Patriots took on the Dolphins and lost 22-12. Sorry, nephew. I've got bad news at the end of this game. 17-27 for 209 yards, no touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa, 20 of 26 for 145 yards, 1 interception. And because of this loss, it will be stated in the rankings, the Patriots will not be going to the playoffs. An 11-season streak snapped and done. Again, nephew, you were talking about it earlier in the season on your sorrows with New England. Of course, Cam Newton only had the 1-year contract. He went to his Instagram account. He's like, I didn't live up to the expectations of the Patriots. No kidding.
No
you
shit,
could not fill Brady's shoes no matter how hard you tried. It wasn't worth it. Is he going to be re-signed? I don't know. And at this point, I really don't care because I'm a Cam Newton Carolina fan. I am not a Cam Newton Tampa New England fan. I wasn't going to jump on their bandwagon. I was sort of on their bandwagon earlier, and it just didn't happen. Now the big loss in the Casa de 3.0 or whatever we're calling this apartment. The Vikings lost to the Bears 33-27. Dory was not happy about this. Mitchell Trubisky went 15 of 21 for 202 yards. Kirk Cousins went 24 of 35 for 271 yards. However, and this will be a small rant, there is still the possibility for the Vikings to get in with an 8-8 record. How do they do it? Well, here's what needs to happen. 1, the Cardinals, who are currently 8-6, actually, they are 8-6. They have to lose out, meaning San Francisco and the Rams would have to beat the Cardinals, no questions asked. Chicago would have to lose one of their final 2 games. The Vikings have to beat New Orleans on Christmas Day and beat Detroit. So we get the rivalry between the roommates again. And with Detroit already out, who knows what Detroit's going to do? It's a team that's already eliminated from the playoffs. But as we saw in last night's game, which I will talk about, anything is possible. A team that is already mathematically eliminated and not wanting to play can produce miracles. But the Lions can play spoiler if the Vikings win their game on Christmas Day against the Saints. If that all happens and the teams finish 8-8, the Cardinals, the Vikings finishing 8-8 and getting in, the Vikings will be in. I did confirm this with a news source. The Vikings will squeak in and get that 7th seeded spot that they want. At 8-8, they will get in. But who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks? It is a possibility. The Browns and the Giants. Jeff, this was one of the games you needed, and you got it. The Browns beat the Giants 20-6. Baker Mayfield went 27.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Colt McCoy, 19 of 31, 221 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The Giants needed to lose, and of course they did, and that, of course, slightly brought up the chance for the Cowboys to get in. Yep. The next game was another one that needed to happen, and it did. The smile is getting bigger. The head is nodding. Seattle took out Washington 20-15. Russell Wilson went 18 of 27, 121 yards. Dwayne Haskins 38 of 55, 295 yards. Again, had Washington won, Jeff would not be happy.
It was that magic I forgot their name, that Regina's family brought to Hyperion Heights in Seattle that gave them the win over Washington.
There you go.
Regina Mills. There we go. Couldn't think of the damn name.
Washington needed to lose.
They did. And they did.
He's getting cocky. He's getting arrogant.
Not getting cocky. No. Oh, no cocky. Blessed and grateful for Seattle and Cleveland doing their thing this weekend.
And Arizona, they beat Philadelphia. 3 losses in the NFC East, which is what's supposed to happen. 33. Now, of course, that hurts the Minnesota fans, but have faith. There's still a little bit of hope left for the Vikings. Cardinals beat the Eagles, which is what's supposed to happen. And apparently, putting in Jalen Hurts was a wrong idea because he lost for the team. Although he went 24 for 44, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. Look at that. Even the kids are screaming that the Eagles lost.
That's right.
3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kyler Murray, 27 of 36, 406 yards, most passing yards this season. Again, the loss helps Dallas out. And, of course, what needed to happen? Dallas beat San Francisco 41-33. Andy Dalton, 19 of 33, 209 yards. Nick Mullins, 21 of 36. The Cowboys are still alive, and we have a scenario as to how they can win. It's very simple. They have to win out. Yeah. And I believe the Giants have to lose one of their games, and Washington has to lose both.
Well, it's like I said to you in private, and like I've said a few times, we can't. Much like the WWF in the '90s, we can't be so concerned with what our competition is doing. We just have to win. Period. Exactly. If we don't win, nothing else matters. So
exactly. So of course, Washington has to lose. Dallas has to win out. If that all happens, they are in. They win the division. They are in the playoffs, and it'll be the Cinderella story, which is what, at this point, right now, yes, I'm stating fact. I am jumping on the Dallas bandwagon. I am done with Pittsburgh. I have been done with Pittsburgh since they lost. I am now a Cowboys fan. There it is. You have the video proof.
Nice.
Give me a blue star any day.
That's it, brother, I guess.
There it is right there. Kansas City took on New Orleans and beat them 32-29. Patrick Mahomes went 26 of 47, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees, 15 of 34, coming back after his rib injury. The Chiefs are the 3rd team to win all of their road games this season after winning the Super Bowl. The only other teams to do that were the 89 and 90 49ers. And on the road, they have an 11-game win streak, the longest streak in the NFL. And, of course, last night, the big it wasn't Monday Night Football. It was Muppet Night Football. If you watch the show, Kermit and Miss Piggy came on the air wearing the jacket. He was wearing the jacket. Miss Piggy had a nice Christmas dress on, and they did the show opening. They threw it down to Fozzie Bear telling jokes. They threw it over to Statler and Waldorf, up there, Waldorf wearing Steelers and Bengals gear. Animal led the group and all that stuff. And they needed a joke because the Bengals ended up upsetting the Steelers 27-17. Big Ben Roethlisberger ain't that big anymore. He went 20 of 38 for 170 yards. He was only held to 19 passing yards in the first half.
Damn.
If that would have stayed, that would have been the second worst performance by a quarterback in a week. Of course, that being the debacle in Denver, but that didn't happen. New quarterback Ryan Finley, or backup quarterback, went 7 of 13, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, the Steeler fans, you know this guy quite well if you follow him on social media. Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know what position he plays. I apologize. On a weekly basis on the road, he does, one could call it a pregame ritual. I don't know. A lot of the teams that he does this to can consider this disrespectful. He takes out his phone, he goes on TikTok, and he dances on the team logo. Is that disrespectful? Yes. Does it get him followers on TikTok? Probably. Does it go viral? Who knows? Well, of course, during the matchup, he goes to get a catch, he gets hit, the ball comes loose, and that's called a fumble. Way to go, Juju. Good job. Chatboy Stout out, fool. What are you doing? I mean, come on.
Chatboy Stout out?
Well, in a bad way.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying Statboy Stat out. You said Chatboy Stat out.
Did I say that?
You did say that.
Oh, well. I'm mixing it up and making up words as I go
hysterical.
along.
That's tremendous.
Is it disrespectful? Yes. Okay. A team's logo is their livelihood. You don't intentionally step on the team's logo. In fact, if you remember, this even ties back to wrestling. Brock Lesnar, he visited the Winnipeg Jets one day, and he was in the locker room, and he went across the locker room, and in the center of the locker room was the Winnipeg Jet, and he accidentally stepped on it. And the team was like, whoa, no, don't do that, don't step on the Jet. You know, they have their superstitions. So apparently Coach Mike Tomlin is going to have a talk with Juju. He's going to sit him down, and he's going to put him on timeout. Okay?
No, the one that got me that did that, when Bieber went and strode right across the Blackhawks logo in the middle of their locker room. I'm like, shoot that little bastard. Seriously.
Could you imagine if he did that with the Kings?
I'd have shot him myself. You kidding me? Little twerp. Anyway, go ahead.
You don't disrespect the silver and black. Especially with the letters LA and a crown in it.
Especially when I'm watching.
Exactly, because you'll throw down the gloves. It'll hurt. Trust me on that one.
Oh, yes.
So the Steelers have lost 3 straight. They are still locked in for the playoffs. They just haven't clinched the division title yet. All right, so that's what happened in Week 15. Let's go over the standings and possible scenarios as to what will take place in Week 16. This is what should happen, not necessarily what is going to happen. Excuse me. So let's bring up my power ranking stuff here. Where is it? Come on, you stupid computer. Probably when my stimulus money comes in, I'm probably gonna buy a new computer, I think.
I already got mine on the way, brother.
You showed me that.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
As much as I still want a Switch for Christmas, and I went to my local Walmart the other day. Lo and behold, there were 9 Switches in the display case, and I went to Dory. I'm like, Dory, they have Switches. Can I go buy one? She's like, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, do you want me to be good for Christmas?
It's almost Christmas. Maybe she already did.
Well, she told me she didn't, and I kind of believe her. But and like I say, I don't know what's going to happen on Christmas morning. You know, it's like I want a BB gun with you shoot your eye out and all that.
Number one, it's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Number 2, she's a women. Women lie. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
You just disrespected half the population.
More than half, unfortunately.
Men lie just as much as women do, okay?
Right, we do. But you know what? We all lie around Christmas. So keep that in mind also. So
the thoughts and views of Jeff Meacham are his own and not mine. All right, in the standings.
That's my network, so I can say it.
Yeah, really. In the standings, the AFC West, the Chiefs lead the division and the conference. They are 13-1. They can clinch the number 1 spot if they defeat Atlanta. That will give them the number one spot. They will go into the next round and they'll take a week off. Only if they beat Atlanta, if Pittsburgh loses to Indianapolis, and Buffalo loses to New England. The Raiders are 7-7. They are fighting for that final playoff spot, and they can finish 9-7, and they can possibly still get in. I haven't seen otherwise that says the Raiders are eliminated. Of course, the Broncos and the Chargers, they are out at 5-9, and that will be confirmed. In the power rankings. In the AFC North, again, the Steelers are 11-3. They are locked into a spot. We just don't know where it's going to be yet. The Browns are creeping up behind them at 10-4. The Ravens are 9-5. The Steelers can finally claim the division title. All they have to do is win against the Colts, or the Browns lose to the Jets. Again, anything can happen. If the Browns lose to the Jets, the division title is just handed to the Steelers, win or lose, because that will put Pittsburgh at 11-4. That'll put Cleveland at 10-5, and because of a possible tiebreaker between the two teams, Pittsburgh will get the AFC North. The Ravens are at 9-5. They are still fighting for that final division spot. And of course, the Bengals are already out at 3-10-1. The AFC South, the Titans and the Colts are tied at 10-4. The Texans and the Jaguars, they're out. You don't need to worry about them. The Titans can win the AFC South if they beat Green Bay and the Colts lose to the Steelers. If they don't win, they're not going to get anything. That'll put them at 10-5. But if they win over Green Bay, or Miami loses to Las Vegas, or Baltimore loses to New York, they get the playoff spot, but not the division title yet. Everything else Indianapolis has to lose for them to get the title. If Indianapolis wins, it's going to carry over to. In fact, if they both win, they're both in. But if the Colts or if the I know the seeds aren't clinched yet, but I think the first 6 teams are definitely going to the playoffs, and it will come down to the surprising Dolphins and Ravens for the last. That is a possibility, yes. Well, there are 3 seeds that are clinched. I mean, there are 3 spots that are filled, but they're not. They won't be locked in until next week. But there are 3 guaranteed teams: the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Bills. They are locked in. They are definitely going to the playoffs. We just don't know where they're going to fall yet. So the Colts can get into the playoffs. The Titans can clinch the AFC South. I didn't see anything that said how the Colts could possibly steal the division from the Titans yet. That could be a possibility in Week 17. In the East, the Bills are 11-3. They're already in, and of course, as Michael and I have stated, the Dolphins are still fighting for that last spot. They do currently have it. They have possession of the final spot. They're trying to hold on to it. So possibly after this week, depending on what happens in Las Vegas with the Raiders, they could possibly all be locked in. It is a possibility. Again, the Patriots are out at 6-8, and the Jets at 1-13. In the NFC West, the Seahawks are already in. They can claim the West title if they defeat the Rams. Straight out. If they win straight out, no questions asked, The NFC West belongs to the Seahawks. With the Rams, if they beat the Seahawks, they are in the playoffs, or Chicago can lose to Jacksonville. It is a possibility. You never know what the Jaguars are going to do, but more than likely Chicago is going to win against them. Or if Arizona beats San Francisco, but if that happens, that also has implications for the Vikings as well, because if Arizona wins, they get the final playoff spot hands down. So in this house, we want Arizona to lose, but if they end up winning, they're locked in, and the Vikings will have no chance along with the Bears, because Arizona will be 9-6, and the best finish for Chicago and Minnesota will be 8-8. So Arizona can potentially knock out two teams with one game. Of course, the 49ers are out. They're out at 5-9. In the NFC North, the Packers have already got the division title. They're going for the number one spot. They can do that if they beat Tennessee and the Seahawks lose to the Rams. If that doesn't happen, we're still gonna I don't see why they're not, because the Packers are 11 and because of the other teams. That's why. There's still the possibility that the other two teams, the Seahawks and the Saints, could come in and play spoiler and get that number one spot away from the Packers. In the NFC South, of course, the Saints are already in at 10-4. If they beat Minnesota, Dory won't be happy about that, but they will clinch the NFC South. Or if Tampa Bay loses to Detroit. So, of course, what we want to see happen in this house, Dory wants, obviously, Minnesota to beat New Orleans on Christmas Day. And if Tampa Bay loses to Detroit, then the Saints can have the division title all they want. Detroit gives New Orleans a Christmas present. And, of course, Atlanta and Carolina are out. And then, of course, in the East, there is a scenario in the NFC for the football team to win. They have to win over Carolina, and the Giants have to lose to Baltimore. If that scenario happens, then the East is locked up, and next week's game, well, boy, you look like you're about to cry. You look so sad with that. Oh, you were asleep. Okay, good. Now, of course, Jeff does not want Washington to win over Carolina, so he'll be rooting for Carolina. And as I told you earlier, with the scenario, Dallas still has the chance. They have to win Dallas is playing Philadelphia. That will put them at 6-9. Washington would have to lose, and that would put them at 6-9 as well.
Beating Philadelphia is key. That's like 2 wins.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
and with that happening, the Week 17 game for Philadelphia will have no proper division scenario except for spoiler. If Philadelphia loses, that would put them 4-10-1, and that's nowhere. They will be nowhere near the wild card spot. So they're only going for the division title. Any other spot is done. So those are your scenarios. That's what needs to happen, and that's hopefully what will happen. And now, does anybody want to step up and be the challenger? Last call here. Anybody? Somebody?
Last call, sports bar. I understood that reference.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Okay. Well, Big Baller G. I mean, I'm sorry. We could have gone a little sooner. We can probably do it, but Week 17 is going to be the last week that we can possibly do this, because predictions in the playoffs, that's only a small number of games. And again, I have to work out the bugs for basketball, so maybe we'll do a prediction challenge for basketball, but if nobody wants to step up and come into the sports bar, that's okay. As far as last week went, I went 11-5. Yeah, we can do the predictions and then go into the we have to do the power rankings first, then we'll do I'm sorry. Okay, I went ahead of myself, because we have to do the power rankings and then I'll go into my predictions and whatnot. So the Week 15 prediction, the power rankings for Week 15. So at the bottom of the list, and of course it's pretty much the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that have all been eliminated. We start at the bottom. Even though they defeated the Rams, they're still at the bottom of the list. The Jets. Then the next team, they lost to Baltimore, the Jaguars. And even though they upset the Steelers, they're still down at the bottom, the Bengals. And they lost to Green Bay, the Panthers. They were eliminated last week. There we go. And Atlanta is next. They lost to Tampa Bay. They were eliminated last week as well. And finally, Houston. And they are 4-10 as well. I think Houston was. Anthony, you want to do predictions? Can you come into the room real quick?
Stand by.
If we can get him in.
Keep doing keep doing power rankings. We'll get him in.
Okay, good.
Oh, wait, Anthony, can you? I said I want to put the thing up there. Everybody will come in. The hell with it. Whatever.
Yeah, give him the link and we'll see what happens. Okay, the next team could be eliminated by this week. They lost to Arizona. It's the Eagles. Jeff is happy.
Jeff is happy.
Next team, these teams all have 5 wins. The next team, they lost to Cleveland 20-6, and it's the Giants. Next team, the newest ones to be eliminated, they lost to Buffalo 41-13.
Hang on, Mikey. Okay, Anthony, the predictions thing happens as far as being on the air. Do you want to do it this way, Mikey, or no?
I would prefer if he could be on camera. If he can't be on camera, then
or at least on audio, like this.
I mean, yeah. If he can physically, if I can actually, I would prefer to hear his predictions. That way,
you know what? He's on his phone. The phone's murder, man.
Yeah, phones are murder. I mean, did I just stall?
Yeah, you did. Hello? That's okay. Keep going. Okay.
I didn't mean to stall. I do apologize. Moving on, the next team after the Broncos have been eliminated, but they did beat Vegas in overtime. Oh, we did the Broncos. There we go, the Chargers. Okay.
Stupid Raiders.
Yep. Next team, your team beat them and you knocked them down, but you haven't knocked. Oh, yes, they are. They are the 40. Yeah, I think the 49ers are.
No, they're not. They weren't eliminated on the thing you sent me. And if it was, I missed it.
I think you missed it. I did. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, because they are.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, pretend it's there.
Yeah. I mean, they're 5-9. They have no chance of getting in. They can play spoiler. They are eliminated.
Okay. Well, then. Okay.
Oh, we'll figure. Well, by next week it'll all be over anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And of course, the next team to be 5-9, they are eliminated as well. They lost to Tennessee. Oh yeah, you're proud to put that one up.
Oh yeah.
But this one, the highest this team has been, they are in the top 20 at the bottom of the barrel. Put that blue Lone Star up. There it is. And you know what? I say this, even if they do get eliminated in week 16, we're not putting it up there.
That's right. I'm not.
I don't want you to. Well, you might have to, but I don't want you to. All right, the next team, Team 19, they lost to Miami, and they are eliminated. The Patriots. There you go. All right, Washington. Next up is team.
You know what? It's so bad that I laugh because the only reason anybody in the NFC is still alive is because the whole division sucks. So, you know.
And the rules that the division winners get in.
Right.
What, is that a new thing? Did I miss something?
No, that's been a thing forever.
That way?
Yeah.
Okay. Team number 18 at 6-8. They lost to Seattle, even though they are the division leaders. Washington football team, team number
I still remember
17.
the W we had because it looks so much like your high school's thing. I just want to start using that next year again.
Maybe so. Next team, they lost to Chicago. They are still alive. Team number 17, the Vikings, followed by the team that beat them. Or no, the team that is their other rivals.
Yes,
The Bears. The Bears. And the other team that is 7-7, they lost to the Chargers in overtime, the Raiders.
Stupid Raiders.
The team that is currently holding on to the final spot at 8-6, the Cardinals. They really dropped down a few spots after this one, which is warranted. I mean, if you lose to the worst team, you should drop all the way to the bottom, man. I mean, not even unbelievable. Team number 12, they knocked the Patriots out. They won 22-12. That's the Dolphins.
Yay, Miami! Miami's my new favorite team.
And team number 11, Tom Brady, the ageless wonder who will not give up the football anytime soon. Tampa Bay. We're in the top 10. They beat Jacksonville, but let's face it, who hasn't beaten Jacksonville? Only one team so far, and that would be the Ravens. Team number 9, a team that is going for a division title, and they want to take it away from the Steelers. Could you imagine that? If you have to write division champions over the Browns and they take it away from the Steelers, wouldn't that be something?
That would be something. But you know what? I would love if they won, because that'd make our boys the Cleaver Colin Andrew happy and so many others. So
yes, but Mr. Cherry and Big Baller G would not.
Dude, Baller and Cherry just need to realize that Pittsburgh's on a skid. It is what it is. You know.
It is what it is. Team number 8, they are playoff bound. They are 10-4.
Wait.
Of the who dat.
Okay.
There you go. Team number 7, they are fighting for a playoff spot. They are fighting for a division title. It's the Colts. Team number 6, another team that's playoff bound. They're going in. Who they're going to face, we don't know yet. The Seahawks. We're in the top 5. They're the team that took out Detroit. The Titans.
Tighten up, baby.
Yep, tighten up. Team number 4, they are looking to change that logo from playoff bound to division champions. They've got 2 weeks to get it done. The Steelers, team number 3, they clinched their division. They are the AFC East champions, the Bills. Team number 2, they are looking to become the number 1 team in the NFC. They are the Green Bay Packers. And finally, team number 1 for 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a row now, since Pittsburgh couldn't get their stuff together, your AFC West division champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Those are the power rankings for week 15. We've got 2 more weeks before we do the final season rankings,
right?
And then go into the playoffs. Now, this doesn't mean that we're completely done. No. We still have plenty of more football to worry about. It's just after week 17 and all the playoff stuff gets squared away, more than likely the format will change, where football will probably be put first up with all the playoff stuff, and then basketball and hockey will be finishing up the format of the show. And of course, the teams that do all get locked into the playoffs, they will still be ranked after week 17. They'll still be there. For a bit of an example, more than likely, with the Chiefs and the Packers being the 2 teams that go in and not playing, more than likely they will stay the number 1 and number 2 teams,
right?
Depending on whichever one is better in my rankings with points and everything else. Then the remaining 12 teams will stay as they are, and then as a team gets eliminated, they will drop to the bottom of all the teams that were playoff bound. So right now, the lowest team that is going into the playoffs are the Saints. So, of course, the format is 14 teams. So, whichever team gets eliminated first in wild card weekend, that team will be the 14th ranked team overall, unless they can score more points than the next team that gets beaten the same weekend.
Right.
So if the number 2 team plays Arizona and Arizona scores 20 points but loses, and then the number 6 team scores 30 points or so, or even scores less, that's the way they'll be. It'll be based on where they were eliminated, and then the number 1 team will be the team that wins the Super Bowl, and that'll start the list for next season.
Right.
So, and we won't need to really. I'm probably not going to focus much if there will be a preseason next year. I'll just probably leave it as it is, or I might just say, well, we'll see where it goes. But there will be reference points between the years. It's like, well, this person was doing this much at this point in time.
Certainly.
So we'll see where that goes. All right, now it's time for my Week 16 predictions.
Your challenger is in the room, sir.
He is. Excellent. Let's bring him in. Who is it? Let's bring in my challenger. There he is. It's Anthony. Hey, Anthony. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man? Good job. Welcome to the Sports Bar. Thanks for coming in. All right.
Mikey, I'm gonna bow out for now and let you guys do your thing. I'll be back after you guys do the prediction. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. No problem.
All right, sir.
All right, Anthony. Let's talk to you for a little bit. Who's your team?
Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go. Good choice. Good choice. And let me also again thank you for being a great patron here at the Sports Bar, and thank you for stepping up and being my challenger for the week. Do you currently have any of the T-shirts that we offer here on the Jeff Meacham Network?
No.
No. Okay. Well, here's how we play the game. One, if you beat me, being you make more predictions than I do, I will send you any shirt you want. It can be a Stat Boy shirt. It can be the Stat Boy approved shirt. It could be a Jeff shirt. Whatever you want, I will pay for it. I will send it to you, and it's like your victory against me. So when you pick teams, do you go by teams or do you go by point spread?
By teams.
Okay, so you just pick the winner straight out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's not a bad thing. That's okay. So what I normally do, and I've done this with my roommate Dory, she likes to pick the teams. I like to play the point spreads. So I'll keep that format available. You'll pick whichever team you feel is going to win, and then I will pick who I think is going to win with a point spread. And for me to win, for my prediction to be correct, the team has to win and cover the point spread. For you to get it correct, all you have to do is just pick the winner. If a tie happens, it doesn't really count. It gets thrown out, and all you have to do is just do better than me. Okay?
All right.
Great. All right. So the first matchup is the Vikings against the Saints. Who do you got?
Hate to say it, but the Saints.
You're picking the Saints. Okay. I am going to take Minnesota in that matchup, and I have a 7-point advantage because the point spread is New Orleans -7. That means if I had picked New Orleans would have to win by 7 points. That's not going to happen, so I have an advantage on that one. So that one could end up in a tie, and we could both be correct. That's how that's going to work. But you have New Orleans, and I have Minnesota. Next game, Buccaneers and Lions. Who you got?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, okay. And I am also going to take the Buccaneers, but I have a disadvantage in that one. For me to be correct, the Buccaneers have to win by 9 points, and I think that will happen. Detroit is already eliminated from the playoffs, so this will be, I believe, an easy matchup for the Bucks to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret that
I mean, haven't seen like a bad loss for Brady since when the Saints early in the season beat the Buccaneers badly.
Good point. Good point. And I mean, if he does a miracle second half comeback like he did in the last playoff game or in the last game just now, who knows? So we'll see where that goes. All right, the 49ers and the Cardinals. Who you got?
Cardinals.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I actually don't want that to happen because I want to keep the peace in my house. So I'm going to go with San Francisco with a advantage of 4.5 points.
I'm only going by how it's like teams been playing. I guess you could
Right,
say.
right. Yeah,
That's the only
I mean,
thing I go
yeah,
by. Not who I want to win, but
exactly. I totally understand that, and it's like San Francisco's already been eliminated. I know we didn't put the graphic up, but I really want to keep the hopes alive for Minnesota. So that's why I'm going to root for San Francisco in this game, and hopefully Minnesota can get things together. All right, next up, the Dolphins and the Raiders. Who you got?
Dolphins.
Dolphins, two a time. All right. I am going to also go with the Dolphins, and I have a 2.5 point disadvantage. So as long as they win by 3, that's a win for me, and that'll be a tie for the both of us. I I'm okay with the Raiders. Allegiant Stadium is a great stadium and all that, but I don't know. Derek Carr and the Raiders have not been performing very well. I mean, they're at 500. They're at 7-7. That should make the Raiders happy, I think. But I'm kind of iffy.
Yeah, it's been a weird season.
It has been. It has been. All right, Broncos and Chargers. Who do you got?
Shoot, that's a tough one. I'm gonna
Well,
say
both
Chargers.
I'm going to say Chargers. All right. Both teams are eliminated. Justin Herbert's had a great season as a rookie. I mean, he's been phenomenal. If there's a rookie of the year, I think he should get it. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well, but I've got a 3 point disadvantage on that one. So I need the Chargers to win by 3 points. All right. Cleveland and the Jets. Who do you got?
Browns.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see the Jets pulling a miracle 2 weeks in a
Yeah.
row.
I'm actually. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I've got a 9.5 point advantage, and I really don't think that the Browns, they're already in the playoffs. I think, or they're going for the playoffs. I think I didn't say that they were playoff bound. So I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I don't think that Cleveland is going to win by 9.5 points. I'm gonna bite the bullet on this one, and I'm gonna take the points, and I'm gonna say that the Jets will. I'm picking the Jets with the 9.5 point advantage on that one. As if the Browns stomp all over them, that's pretty much a loss that I'm willing to take. But the point spread is just too big on that one. Giants and Ravens. Who you got?
Ravens.
Ravens. Okay. I'm going to agree with you on that one, and I'm going to take a 10.5 point disadvantage on that because, of course, we know that we want the Cowboys to go into the NFC East title, and so hopefully Baltimore just stomps the Giants, and I think they'll do it by a touchdown and a half. Bengals and Texans. Who you got?
Bengals.
Bengals. Interesting. All right. Both teams are eliminated. Cincinnati has a bit of momentum with 9 points. I'm going to go I'm gonna go. Doggone it. I'm gonna agree with you on that one, and I'm gonna take the 9 points, and I'm gonna agree. I don't think Houston is gonna cover by 9 points or all that. All right, Bears and Jaguars. We got
Bears.
Bears. All right. Um, Again, this is one of those scenarios where I need the Bears to lose, so I'm gonna go with Jacksonville, and I'm gonna take the points on that one at 7.5.
One question I didn't have or whatever
Go ahead.
earlier when you were talking about the Jets winning
Hmm.
the other day and the Jaguars being the number one draft or
Hmm.
whatever. What happens if the Jaguars win a game within these last two games or whatever, and Jets keep losing? Wouldn't Jets get the number one draft pick?
Yes. If the Jaguars pull off a miracle and they win against the Bears, that would put them at 2-13. And if the Jets lose, that would put them at 1-14. And a team that's 2-13 is better than a team that's 1-14. So the Jets would regain the number one spot because there isn't a draft lottery, not like in basketball and hockey where
Yeah.
the teams get ping pong balls put into a hopper and they pull a winner based on and they have the losing team, the team that does the worst, has the best advantage of getting the number one draft pick. That's the way it works in a draft lottery. But in football, it's purely based on the records. There's no question about it. The losing team gets the number one pick, hands out, no question. So if the Jaguars lose and the Jets would get the number one pick. If by some miracle it flip flops 2 weeks in a row and they both end up becoming 3-13, it would still go to the Jaguars because of some tiebreaker rule that the league implements. And again, like I said earlier in the rant with this game 17, maybe even that should be for a draft pick because it's a tie scenario. So there you
Yeah.
go. Good question. All right, Falcons and Chiefs. Obviously, I'm assuming you're going with the Chiefs because they're your team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Uh,
Chiefs,
yeah.
been playing a little bit. They've been getting by, especially with the Dolphins the week before and all that. But I don't know. But yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
Chiefs.
I mean, they're going for the number one spot, and Patrick Mahomes is literally, I think, like right on Aaron Rodgers' heels for the MVP spot, which I did say earlier in the season that I was rooting for Mahomes to get it because I'm going by the stats, and I'm well, going by the stats. Rodgers has the MVP, but in my opinion, but you know, my only problem with Mahomes is that stupid State Farm commercial that I'm sick and tired of watching. I mean, come on. I mean, when you
Which
got
one? The
Aaron.
one where he's playing cornhole?
Uh, it's that one, and it's the one where he's in the barber chair. I don't like that one. I hate that. I'm beginning to hate that commercial. And those Baker Mayfield commercials are getting annoying too. Um, and actually, Dak Prescott he did a I think like a Tempur-Pedic commercial or some smart bed commercial, and I'm just sitting there like, I mean, I get that you have to do something when you're injured, but when you see these commercials over and over again, it's crazy. KC at 10.5 points. Yes, I will take that. I will say KC wins by 10.5. All right, Colts and Steelers.
I'm gonna have to say 4 weeks in a row the Steelers are gonna lose, and the Colts gonna win.
Really? Okay. I think I'm leaning towards. I'm going to agree with you on that one. I have no points to give on that one. It was called a pick in the sports world, so it's like a free game there. I'm going to agree with you. I think Pittsburgh honestly is going to wait until their final game against the Browns. If they do win it, they win it. I get it. I mean, but to wait to the last minute and go on a losing streak this late in the season is unbelievable. Panthers and Washington. Who you got?
I know this is going to make Jeff mad, but I'm going to say Washington.
You're going to say Washington. All right. I am going to disagree with you on that one. I would want Carolina to win. That gives me a 2.5 point advantage because I don't want Washington anywhere near the playoffs right now. And I declared it earlier. I'm jumping on the Dallas bandwagon. I can't believe I can't believe I admitted it on live camera there. All right, Rams and Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. All right. I'm going to give the Rams a chance. I'm going to take them. The point spread is only a 1.5, so it's really not going to make a difference. It might, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'm going to take the Rams on that one. Seattle's already in. The Rams are fighting to get in. So this might be their chance to do that. All right. Are you going to make Jeff mad, or are you going to go with his team? Eagles and Cowboys.
I'm just by the way Eagles been playing or whatever, and the whole quarterback situation and all that crap. My opinion, they've been playing like garbage. I'm gonna say Dallas.
All right, good call. And I am taking Dallas on that as well.
But I will say one of the worst mistakes they did was putting Wentz as a starter and getting rid of Foles, because Foles leaded that team, the Eagles, to Super Bowl and beat Brady.
I can agree with that. I said it last week. I wanted to know why Jalen Hurts took so long to get into the season. I mean, when Wentz was being, like I said in many seasons before, every time you turn around, Wentz is getting sacked or Wentz is dropping the ball. So I'm like, why? It makes no sense whatsoever. Titans and Packers.
That's tough. Packers.
I am going to agree with you on that one, but I'm giving up 3.5 points. I think.
I don't know if it was true or not. I was going to say when you're talking about the Eagle, we were talking about the Eagles.
I'll be right there. Don't worry.
About the Eagles and all. I saw a thing, I think on Twitter or something, under the news thing, that Carson Wentz said if he wasn't going to be starting, he wanted to be traded next year or something like that.
One second, Anthony. What's going on outside?
Huh?
What's going on?
I'm gonna break and show me his bike.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah. What was that about Carson Wentz again? I was a little distracted.
I saw something on Twitter or something, like on the news thing or whatever, saying if he wasn't going to be starting or something like that, he wanted to be traded or something like that. I don't know.
I'll get it in a second. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's a possibility or not, but who knows with Carson Wentz and the Eagles, really. All right, last matchup. Bills and Patriots. Monday night.
Definitely got to say the Bills.
You got to take the Bills. All right.
And Bills is going to be a tough team in the playoffs. I see Steelers losing the first game out.
I would definitely agree. I am also taking the Bills, and I give up 7 points on that one. All right, Anthony, your picks are in. So I'll find a way to message you next week or watch the show next week, and you'll get your results. And if you do win, all I'll need from you is where to send the shirt, and I'll take care of the rest. And thank you for coming in at the last second. And I'll give you a quick Merry Christmas. And again, thanks for being a loyal patron of the sports bar. And I'll catch you next week, all right?
All right, no problem. Seeing you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Anthony. Great. All right, friends and neighbors and everybody else. Anthony, you can go ahead and exit out of the room. There you go. All right, good. Thank you. So week 16 is all done. Again, at this... oh, what's going on here? Oh, something's happening here. We're supposed to be doing our shout-outs, and I kind of had a shout-out here a second ago, but... Who am I giving a special shout out to? That what's going on here? I guess we're back. Okay, good. Well, I did have a quick shout out at the very last second, but we do have a special shout out coming up. Big congratulations to Brandy and Cody Rhodes. Congratulations, you're getting a little bundle of joy in about 9 months. Good job to them. They join all the wrestling couples that have children or that will be having children. Of course, I believe 2 weeks ago, of course, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, and Renee Young, they did I freeze up again? Oh, no, don't tell me I froze up. Okay, there we go. Okay, my camera is okay, we're good. Dean Ambrose and Renee Young announced that they are expecting a child. So congratulations to. What's going on? Who's coming in the sports bar? Oh, no way! Santa Claus is in the Stat Boy Sports Bar. Hello,
Merry
Santa.
Christmas, Stat Boy. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you for coming into the sports bar. If I knew you were coming, I'd have some milk and cookies for you. This is an excellent surprise.
Santa will get plenty of milk and cookies Thursday and Friday, I'm sure. So you're quite all right with that, Stat Boy. Don't worry about that, sir.
Well, this is the biggest Stat Boy shout out ever. I mean, who else can we give a shout out to but Santa Claus 3 days before Christmas? Oh my goodness. Well, Santa, I hope you think that I have been good this year. I don't want to be on your naughty list because let's face it, I don't need any more lumps of coals in my stocking than already. Yeah, a lot has happened this year, of course, and. Are you a fan of Santa Claus? Do you watch the sports bar from the North Pole?
Well, Michael, unfortunately, your show coincides with my busy season because, the NFL season starts right around the time I'm getting really, really busy at the North Pole. But I have caught a few shows. I will say that that producer fellow of yours has quite the potty mouth when it comes to his Dallas Cowboys losing. My goodness gracious.
Well, yeah, Jeff does have a bit of a it's his team, Santa, and yes. But maybe my Christmas wish will be for the Dallas Cowboys to get into the playoffs. How about that? Can that be my official Stat Boy Christmas wish?
We can always hope for America's team to get into the playoffs because even Santa Claus likes the Dallas Cowboys, and goodness knows they've had a rough year, but they're chugging right along. God bless them.
This is great. Oh, Santa, this is amazing. I'm so happy you could take a quick break. You've got a busy night ahead of you on Thursday night going into Friday, and all I can say is thank you for coming in. Thank you for at least taking a few minutes, and thank you for being a fan of the show. And definitely. Wow, this is turning me into a 5-year-old again because it's been forever since honestly I've talked to Santa and whatnot. So be safe when you take your trip around the world. NORAD will be tracking you like they do every year. And remember, all the kids, Santa is watching. He knows everything when it comes to being naughty and nice. Does anybody have any questions for Santa? This is now your opportunity. We've been going for 2 hours. Does anybody in the chat room have anything to say to Santa? Let's take a quick look here. I have Santa Claus in my sports car.
Well, while we wait for the questions to come in for yours truly, I did want to make a special quick promotion for a friend of the channel, a friend of Jeff's, and a friend to us all. Our buddy down actually in your neck of the woods in the Orange County area, Alexandria the Red. She is over at patreon.com, Alexandria the Red, and she has a new setup today in her $20 tier. And against my usual Santa code, I'll go ahead and promote it. It's the Snow Bunny set, and we'll leave that at that. And there's a reason it's on a higher tier, and I'll leave the descriptions up to your imagination. So there you go.
Excellent.
Who has a question for Santa Claus? Because I'm a very busy man, as you know. I took a brief break. So
does anybody want anything? We've only got like a few minutes left because I've got a basketball game I got to start watching. Does anybody have anything they want to say to Santa Claus? Have you ever given Stat Boy coal for Christmas? I think not.
You can tell them better than I can, young Michael.
Nope. Santa has never given me coal. He's always given me very nice presents for Christmas, except, of course, the one year when he gave JJ the Renegade the idea of giving me a Pikachu for Christmas, which there is, yeah, he did. But then I turned and gave him a Pikachu for Christmas, and then we gave Pop a Pikachu for Christmas. We all gave each other Pikachus. That was our Santa gift. Anyway, this has been a great show. Of course, you all know the normal plug. Buy our shirts on teespring.com. The Dad on Wrestling shirt, the Stat Boy shirts, all those shirts are up there. You know the Renegade shirt and the original Stat Boy approved shirt. Beat me in a contest one-on-one, and you win any shirt that you wish. I did say that to Anthony. That'll more than likely be that. There's the official shirt of Stat Boys Sports Bar. I should be wearing one, but there's another. There is our Person Hottie, Miss Vixen Bailey Cole. Follow her on Instagram at Miss Vixen420. And of course, let's get through all the other plugs. There is our friend Laura on OnlyFans.com. She's very beautiful, as you can see. And there is Baller G, who should have been in, but he didn't make it. He's our resident Pittsburgh fan. Follow him at NoDQ Big Baller G. Colin Cleaver, follow him at nodq.com/Colin and at NoDQ Colin Andrew on Twitter. Follow him, of course, on youtube.com on the Cleaver Colin Andrew channel. And, of course, what else do we have?
On Thursday. Well, first of all, tomorrow night at right around 7 o'clock Eastern, yours truly will be joining Aaron in his official NXT recap results show as I get ready to take off. I can't believe it's the big day is already here. It's absolutely crazy. And then Thursday on the Jeff Meacham Network, JJ and Jeff have a very special bonus episode of Dads. It is the top 10 Christmas songs.
Top 10 Christmas songs. I am wearing the Dads on Wrestling shirt. Yes. I should have talked about TLC. Didn't get a chance to.
Oh, that's okay.
It was a big thing here. It's over and done with. If you did not see Raw, go back and watch it because Orton's promo was, forgive the pun, it was on fire. Literally. And you see what I did there? There is a twist on that one, so go back and watch that. Any other plugs we need to throw out? Funstream as always. Thank you, Michael. Have a good night, Michael Gonzalez. And let me quickly say to everybody, and let's not forget me, follow me on Twitter at LBStatKid1977. Again, send me, use the hashtag StatBoyApproved or hashtag AskStatBoy something. Again, watch the Jeff Meacham Network Facebook page. That's where all the updates are going to be during the week. Even during Christmas Day, there are 5 basketball games on Christmas Day. And, of course, comment always. Again, Santa, thank you for coming into the sports bar. Let me just take this time. Christmas is 3 days away. Stay with your families. I know we all want to be together for Christmas in big gatherings. It's not quite safe yet. But, guys, we have to do this to keep the world safe. Yes. Santa, again, I can't say thank you enough for coming in. I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. I hope you get all the presents you wanted. There are presents here in our casa. We want that. All in all, I will see you all next week. Take that long winter's nap. Thank you again, Santa, so much. I love you all. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas to all.
Next week, Stat Boy out. Woo!